reading a lot. So what have you been reading? Anything good?
A lot of books by C.S. Lewis.
Ooh, are you in a class where you're reading those?
No, I'm just trying to read a lot of books before I
Right.
leave on my mission.
Oh, that's awesome. I love C.S. Lewis. So fun. Welcome back, everybody. I actually am looking forward to this class. I look forward to every class, but I was looking forward to this class because it's this lesson like totally changed the way I parented when I learned this 5 years ago. So I'm excited to talk about it. Let's start with a prayer. Ben, could you offer that prayer for us, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Our dear kind Heavenly Father, we're so thankful for this day. We're very grateful for the time that we've been able to spend learning today, and we're thankful for this class that we could be able to learn and grow even more. Please bless us to have the Spirit with us, that we'll be able to understand the classwork, and that we'll be able to take something out that we can apply into our lives. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Ben. When do you leave on a mission?
Probably early August.
Have you sent in your papers yet?
No, I'm setting up the appointment with the stake president in the near couple weeks. So
that is so awesome. Excuse me. Okay. Announcements. In just a little over a month, it's time to, oh, happy birthday, Ben. Oh, your mic doesn't work? Sorry. You need to do something with that computer. Do you take other online classes? Okay. In about a month, a little over a month, on April 12th, class presentations are due. And in those class presentations, you're going to be looking at the 7 laws of life mission and how your character lives the mission. Sorry, 7 laws. Let's look at that really quickly. Make sure I'm getting everything right. Create a 5-minute presentation using any method that is most exciting for your viewers. You can use PDFs, PowerPoints, or create a video of you doing something pertaining to the principles of the presentation. So the format is, yes, you'll have a title, and then you're going to be showing how that person lived a principle.
What?
What? Hello? Did somebody say something? Oh, Josh was talking, but didn't know he wasn't muted. Okay, so then you'll show how that character lived a principle, and you're going to share a story or two from the book. And then a conclusion, tell us how you are a better person by learning this principle and how it's affected you. So, and then there's some other information about if you're going to use a PDF, make your text minimal so that you don't have these long passages. You can use pictures. Those are great. And you don't have to use a PowerPoint. You don't have to do one. You can do a video or whatever else. So do you guys know which books you're choosing? Who knows? Let me just get to that page. I don't think I put it in here. Oh, yeah, I did. So yes. Can you repeat the book part? Yes. So you're either reading Up from Slavery by Booker T. Washington or The Story of My Childhood by Clara Barton. So Booker T. Washington's That's the only one I've read. I've never read The Story of My Childhood. I loved Up from Slavery. If anybody likes to learn about an amazing man, Booker T. Washington, that was a great book. I think this time I'm going to read Clara Barton's book because I have never read it yet. So start thinking about which book you want to be reading. And Sarah, did that answer your question? Okay. Think about what you want to be reading and then maybe start real soon so that you can be reading just a little bit of that every day so that you can be prepared for that presentation. All right. I think that's all the announcements I have today. Yep. All right. Let's talk about your Live It. Where's my workbook? Did I put it back? Why did I put it back? We always talk about being orderly, but sometimes being orderly takes more time. Sorry, I can't find where we are. Okay, here it was. Your Live It. Who? So we talked about creating a plan to get out of the box towards someone in your life and execute it. Think about that. You've been in the box with someone. How did you get out of it? And see them as a person. How did that work this week? Did anybody have some experiences with that? The person I'm in the box with was on a cruise, so I didn't have much practice. But I'm going to try it this week. They're back. Anybody have any experiences? Paige and then Jessica.
Okay, I'm in the box a little bit towards my manager because sometimes she's just really frustrating and she just sits in the back all day long while we just stand there and work, and then she gets mad if we're just standing there. Anyway, it's not important. But I decided that instead of, like, if I see her on the schedule and I'm going to work with her, that I'm just going to go in and be, pleasant. I'm going to forget everything that happened before and just, like, start fresh. I know she's a person too, but, like, I don't know, develop new opinions that aren't this bad, I guess.
Doesn't sound like you really want to do that. Wait, you're muted now.
I know, I just said it's okay.
It's okay.
I'm gonna do it. It's hard, but
Yeah.
I will.
It is hard. And going back to C.S. Lewis, Ben, it is a weight of glory, right? Oh, awesome. Jessica.
All right, so mine is just one of my friends who, like, recently I just have found myself getting, like, more annoyed with them. Anyway, so I definitely feel like I'm in the box towards them a little bit, just kind of, I don't know, just not accepting that they have important things in their lives and not wanting them to be happy or anything, like, just a little selfish, I guess. Anyway,
I've done that before.
So I recognized that last week, and so this last week, I've been, like, trying to, what I wrote down like my plan, is just, like, recognizing that they have, like, trials that they need to talk about or happy things in their lives that they want to express to other people, and just, like, I shouldn't be so, like, shut down when they try to tell me about their lives, because I want them to listen about my life too. So just kind of, I don't know, just like a golden rule thing. But another thing that, like, I've noticed myself doing is, like, if she'll text me, then I'll kind of, like, in my head be like, I don't want to talk with her right now. And so sometimes I forget and wait like a day and a half before responding or something. And it's not very nice. Anyway, so I just put that down as, like, my plan this week. Just, like, start conversations, ask how she's doing, and I don't know, be like civil and kind, because the way I was like just ignoring her text, like that's not very kind or considerate. And so I don't know, that was interesting to see how it changed my mindset this last week.
That's neat. That's awesome. Sarah says, I never really executed my plan, but several times I had the thought they have needs and feelings too towards several people. Good. So what stops us from executing our plan, do you think? And anybody can answer that. What are things that stop us from executing? Not wanting to. Yeah. Any other things? And maybe not wanting to includes a lot of things. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's I don't remember. A lot of things. Okay, well, keep doing it. Keep working on it, because the more you do it, the more you're going to be prepared for a mission companion, Ben, because you're going to have mission companions for sure. And all of us are hopefully going to get married. I'm already there, but all of you will hopefully get married, and learning how to get out of the box with someone is essential for making those relationships work. Okay, how many of you are more intelligent because you found out what your intelligences are? Okay, I have on the class discussion notes a table with the different, there's only 7 that I have up because the test only had 7. You notice that our book says 2 new kinds of smart, and that is, one of them is nature smart, and another one is existence smart. The test that I took has naturalist in it, so it has one of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wonder which one it doesn't have. Okay, I don't know. Get on the table and write down your name and the number of, where you fit in the let's see, in the order. For instance, my top one I think is interpersonal, so I would put Julie number 1. Okay, and then you can do 2, and then the next one, and your name. Okay, so it looks like you guys are doing it great, and then we're going to kind of see how this works. Thank you for the commas, Jessica. Commas are nice. Would anybody be offended if we got out of class early today? Okay. The reason is I've got $3,000 worth of produce coming from California today at 2:30. And I have to go shovel my walk. And then I've got all these people coming to pick up the stuff. And my husband usually is home, but he's not home today. And I've got to go shovel the walk. So gotta have time. So thank you. So I figure we'll end in about a half an hour, if that's okay. This is great. It's working.
Julie, I would have to retake the test because I didn't leave that window up on my computer.
Dang. You didn't write down what your strong straights were, your intelligences?
I was just gonna leave the page up on my computer, but then I guess when it shut it all down. But
Oh, dang. Can you find the history?
let me look if I can do that real quick.
Are we doing different text colors?
That could be good. That's helpful. So it looks like Sarah's is blue.
I just found it.
Yay! I love history for many reasons. I probably should have done the table a little differently, but to maybe order it better, but we'll just figure it out.
Are we doing all of them? Like our
Well,
1 through 6?
Some of you are doing it. I didn't really specify. So put at least the first 3.
Okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. That gives us a little more room. We've got a lot of the kinesthetic. This is awesome. Okay, so while you're doing that, let me ask, for those of you who are done, did this reveal anything to you, or did it surprise you at all, or were you pretty much in agreement with it? What were some of your thoughts? I'm gonna do,
Well, I was pretty happy about where my music one ended up.
where did it end up? Let's see.
You can look.
Ben, last. You were happy about that?
Well, I mean, I don't know if happy is the right word. I just thought it was funny.
Do you take music lessons and you hate them?
I take piano and it's not my favorite, but yeah.
That is funny. Okay,
I felt like some of them made sense though.
oh, that's funny. Okay, so we've got one, I'm doing tally marks here. We've got 2 people that have this music as first. Nobody has visual as first. How many people have body smart as first? 1, 2. Logical, nobody. Ben. Self-smart. And we've got 1. So interesting. So out of all of us, most of us have more music talent or intelligence and kinesthetic, hands-on intelligence. So any more comments? Thanks, Ben, for sharing. Any other revelation? Jessica, excuse me.
I thought it was really interesting to go back, like after I knew like my top 3, to go back in the book and read the section for it. For like the kinesthetic one, it had like a whole bunch of things at the end that was like, if you're like a kinesthetic person, you could try to stand on your foot for one time for like a certain amount of time with your eyes closed, and like just like reading. I didn't actually do any of them, but reading through the list, I was like, wow, there's so many that I know like I can do and I've done. And it just was like really cool to be like, oh hey, like that looks like what I do. So I don't know, that was really cool. And even like with the musical one too, just I don't know, just kind of recognizing that other people understood and like have the same type of knowledge that I do, and like recognizing that I had the same type of knowledge, and it was just cool. I liked it a lot.
That is so cool. I love it when you open up a book and it's like, oh, they know me. So cool. Sarah says, I've got to move this over so I can read it. I haven't given myself space. Okay. I think my last one is kind of funny, but also in the wrong place. Where's your last one, Sarah? Is it logic smart? Do you hate math? Kind of, you don't have a real great relationship with geometry and trigonometry, and mine is second to the last, so I'm with you. Okay, good. Any other stuff you want to share? Yes, Paige.
Yeah, my logical is last two, but I like math. And I do consider myself often to be a pretty logical thinker, but it was like all the way down.
So
like,
you,
oh.
yes, but you shared yours with me.
Yes.
And it seems like you're pretty balanced on a lot of them, except for music's shot up.
Well, yeah.
So I'm going to...
That one's pretty low, though. All the other ones are in like the 60s, and that one's a 37.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh,
yeah.
Sarah just went. Interesting. I would say you're pretty balanced, but maybe, yeah, maybe. Well, logical doesn't so much mean math and science. It can also mean logical thinking. But to me, you seem like a logical thinker. So I don't know. You failed the test. Just kidding. Josh.
Okay, so I was a little bit surprised at this one. So I was taking the test and I really like listening to music that kind of has a little pop to it. So like upbeat music. And I mean, I take piano lessons with Ben and Sarah, but it turned out that music is my first one. And I was like, yeah, I love music. And then I was like, but like I guess I kind of like people more than I like music a little bit. And people smarts is my third one, which I'm very happy about. But I was kind of surprised at how music was my first one instead of like my top three. Well, instead of like second or third, I was expecting like kinesthetic or people smarts to be first.
Interesting. And maybe it's just the way they ask the questions. I wouldn't take these tests to be foolproof, like perfect, but they do give us a little bit of an idea about where we are most intelligent. So, but these are all great comments. I had some questions written down. I'm going to try and find them. I think I turned the page because I was looking for what's happening in a month with your presentations. Is it here? Oh yeah, okay. So the question I had written down, which smart is the most prevalent in your class? And we kind of talked about that, music and kinesthetics. Although, let's do the seconds. Is there anybody in the second on the first? No. Okay, so we've got 2 more seconds in music. And how many in kinesthetic? 1, 2. That's interesting. Nothing in logic. We've got 1 in people smart. one more in self-smart. And that's it. So prevalence here, music and kinesthetics. That's pretty interesting. Interesting. And then intrapersonal is next. Okay. So who do you think, who in your class, in this class, has a more unique smart? What I mean by that is the least being, like, I don't know how to explain it. What is the least, do you think, in here?
At least what?
Smart intelligence.
Probably the nature smart one. I don't know. Sarah's like the only one. And that's her number one. And then like nobody else is higher up.
Yeah. Jessica's the closest with 3, but then it goes down. So maybe, probably so. Yeah, I would say that's good. Interesting. That's my third. That's my third one. I do like nature. All right. Another question I wrote down was, how does knowing you're smart and those around you here help you communicate and understand each other better? Does it? Does it help? How does it? Here's a small story. 5 years ago, my 19-year-old was 14. Of course, do the math. Logic is my least, but I can add and subtract. She was in my humanities class that I teach, and sorry, Paige, you've already heard this story, but she just didn't really care for it. It was just not interesting to her. And I was kind of on her case. It's like, you need to do the homework. And she did the homework, but she's just not into it. And so I was struggling. And I remember taking this test and having her take it. She did not want to take the test. And I just said, just take it. Just do it and don't complain and just get it done. And she took it. And when I got it back, when we saw it, her logical was number 1. And her linguistics, which is word smart, was number 8. It was the last one, or 7. I think there's only 7 in this. And so it revealed to me that this girl has been given this intelligence of logic. She loves numbers. She can do great things with them. And I started realizing, okay, I can pay a tutor to help her with her math stuff. And we did that for 2 years, and it was great. And I backed off on the humanities. She did it, and she did all her work, and she wrote the papers and everything. But I didn't get on her case about it, because I recognized I needed to change the way I saw her, because she's been given different intelligences. And it was really good, and it helped our relationship a lot. So any other ways you can think about how knowing our intelligences and those around us will help change the dialogue and the way we treat each other? Yeah, Paige.
So I did not get along well with Hannah, your youngest, forever, for the longest time. Because if you know me really well, I'm super sarcastic, like all the time. And a lot of times, like I would say something like that, and other people would kind of laugh, and she would just be like, "What? Like, what is that?" And I'm like, "It's funny, Hannah. Like, whatever." And she just like totally didn't think it was funny. And I guess it's like, because she was actually thinking about logic behind it. She's like, "Oh no, that's not true." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know it's not. It's just funny." but I totally know that she's logical. Like when you said that, I'm like, oh, it makes so much sense. So
Oh,
I mean, we get along better now anyway, so I think she can tell like when I'm sarcastic, but just other people too. There's logical thinkers and then there's not so logical thinkers, I guess, like myself, that just kind of clash a little bit. But understanding that helps me kind of like navigate how to talk to those people. I don't know.
I love it. And her word smart is way at the end. So interesting. I love that. I'm glad you brought that up. Any other experiences? Sarah says, well, kinesthetic learns with touch as well as hearing, so you can apply that. Yes, we'd like to hear you more. Just kidding. Good. Looks like Ben and Jessica were making faces at each other. Do you guys want to share?
I think Jessica wants to share. She started the conversation.
Okay.
So this is totally off topic, and so I apologize for that. But I just saw Paige's last name on the Google Doc, like when she types. Sorry, Paige, this is weird. And I was like, oh, Tibbetts. That's your last name, right? And this last semester, Ben and Josh and me, and used to be Sarah, we are being math tutored by Carrie Tibbetts. And so we were just wondering, is that your aunt? Are you related
Yes.
to her? Because I knew like Julie was related to her. And then I just like thought about it. I was like, oh my heck. Is
Yeah. Does she
related
have
too?
brown hair and she's really small and has freckles?
Yeah. She's
Yes,
totally our math
that-
tutor.
My
like,
my
whoa,
dad's
what the
one
heck?
older brother's ex-wife.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. That's
Yeah.
so cool. So we were just talking about that.
That is funny. So who's
Oh,
Jessica, Ben, and who else?
Josh.
Josh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is very smart in math. And I like the
Yeah.
way she explains things with that.
Yeah. She's been good. But sorry, that was super random. Sorry, Paige.
No, but I think it was cool. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
McKay, we can see you. It's awesome. You're eating just like I am. Okay, another question I had. Which smart surprised you most? Oh, I already asked that. Okay. So, okay, maybe I'll ask it again because not everybody shared. Did anybody's smart or intelligence surprise them? We know it did Ben. I don't know. He was kind of happy that his music was at the end. Yeah, Jessica.
So I was kind of surprised. I guess I didn't really recognize or realize that like body smart was one of the smarts. And so when I like got that as like my top one, I was like just reading about it, and I don't know, just like reading about it, I was like, wow, this is super cool, but like totally true. Like I didn't even realize that this could be one of the smarts. It's not talked about a lot, and I mean, like obviously like people can be certain levels of athletic and or even just know how to move their bodies or love to do stuff with their bodies, but I didn't realize that it was actually like sometimes like a physical way of learning. And so I don't know, I just thought that was really interesting. I didn't really realize that it was a thing, so that's probably why I was surprised. But
Well, and you're kind of acting as if that's not a big deal, but I think you've hit on something that's really a big deal. And I think I said this a little bit last week, but our school system, not just the public school system, but all educational systems focus on two intelligences. What are those that they focus on?
Math and writing.
What's that?
Like math and writing.
Math and writing, word smart and logical. That's where the most of the focus is. And so, of course, schools have started to to get sports in, which is body smart. And I mean, not all body smart, all body smart is sports, but not all sports are body smart. And there's a lot more of body smarts that is not just sports, but you can notice that a lot of the school systems are trying to get more of these in, but really the core classes are the word smart and the logical. So some of us might feel stupid when we go to school, and yet we should feel really awesome because we have been given these intelligences by God. And let's develop them. How many of you are developing your first 3 strengths? Okay, all of you? Okay, so does anybody want to share? What are you doing to develop those first 3? Anybody want to share?
I'll share.
Okay.
So my first one is intrapersonal, which is the self-smart. And one of the things that I've been doing a lot lately, because it's like looking inside, like managing emotions, self-improvement type things.
Mhm.
I have been reading a ton of books lately about like how the mind works, like just in relation with that. And so that's like the big way that I've been working on that. And I actually think if I had taken this maybe a month ago, intrapersonal probably would have been in the back half of
Mm,
this test. Like I have completely switched up these intelligences because of the stuff that I've been working on.
that's so awesome. So it's almost as if you entered into a window to discovery, and now you've discovered, oh, this is an intelligence I have, and I'm going to work on it, and it's become stronger. That's amazing.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else? What are you doing to develop it, Paige?
Well, my first one obviously develops all the time because I love music. But my second one, which is just the same as Ben's first one, the interpersonal, that one, I think I would like, it would be the same for me, except if I took the tests before I started this class and the humanities class, it totally would have been like way farther down. 100%, I know it would have been, but that one is number 2 now, and I love talking about it. And I think that I really have grown with reading a ton of stuff, especially C.S. Lewis. I love him; he's great. Anyway, yeah,
That's
that
awesome.
one was surprising, but reading really helps.
Yeah, I'm starting to see a pattern here. Like education exposes us to things that helps us to discover our intelligences. I feel the same way. I joined the ranks of reading these awesome books way late in life and didn't realize how much they were part of my intelligence. I wouldn't say I wasted a lot of years, but sometimes it seems like that. Was that McKay that, yeah, raise your hand, go ahead.
My number 1's kinesthetic. Is that how you say it? Right?
Uh-huh.
I feel like just playing sports because I play a lot, so I think that practicing helps.
That's awesome. Yeah. Develops that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a couple minutes to go page 49. And there's a journaling question there that says, how does knowing my intelligences help me find my mission? And that's not talking about your mission that you're going to serve soon, Ben, but you know what I mean. Your mission in life, which, can I say, there's going to be lots of different points of your mission you're going to make that kind of might look like their own individual missions. So it's not like it's one mission, but how does knowing your intelligence is going to help you find your mission? So take a minute or two to write some thoughts that you have there.
What time did you say we're gonna end today?
In about 5 minutes.
All right.
Is that okay? Okay. If you need a little help thinking, go ahead and read those principles in that bluish green box up above. It's helpful. Okay. And you might want to spend some more time writing down here, but what were some of the things that came from your writing? Does anybody want to share what they decided, how knowing your intelligences is going to help you find your mission?
I can go.
Thanks.
Just part of my personality and like how I'll be able to relate to other people by noticing like my own strengths and weaknesses. That'll help me like relate to other people, I feel like.
That's awesome. Good. Anybody else want to share? Paige?
I think it really helps direct like the path you want to take in the future, like towards college, or like McKay was saying, your relationships, like how you communicate differently with other people, like your spouse, your family, your everything. It just really is like, oh, that's how I communicate, and this is how I can talk to different people. Anyway.
Yeah, it clarifies that. 10 years from now, people are going to say, how come you're so good and so nice? And why do you get along with people so well? And you'll just probably say, oh, I've always been able to. And then you'll realize, oh no, little by little, I've been learning and clarifying. And this is one of those things that will help to clarify and change the way you are. So awesome. Just want to take a couple minutes now just to remind you, next week we are going to be reading kind of a long book. Look at how long that is. But I don't want you to get too upset before I tell you this. Then in each chapter, so let's say chapter 3, there's this title, and then there's a little quote, but then there's a story on the first. I'm going to show you the first couple of pages, and the story is in italics. Do you see that? It's italics, so it's written on the slant. But then when you start into the regular part of the chapter, it's not italics anymore. You are to read the stories, and then you can kind of skim through the rest of the chapter. So you're not going to be reading the whole book. You're going to be reading the 13 stories, and then maybe looking at a couple of things that, as your interest peaks, you'll go into a little more.
This is the 13 things mentally strong people don't do.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're going to find that this book puts everything that we have learned so far into one book. Almost everything. You're going to see the drama triangle. You're going to see intelligence. You're going to see personality. You're going to see so much in this book. So it'll kind of put everything together. I love the stories in this book, and I think you will too. So you're going to approach that, a couple videos and a couple of assignments, and then we'll come back and we'll probably have the full time. Sorry to cut short today. But does anybody have any questions for next week? Okay, use this time to get ready for your presentation in a month. See you, everybody.
Thank you.